Hello. Well, hello. And welcome. Welcome to Shadow Secrets Oracle with Sean. Today is June 20th, 2020. We're on a new moon. It is the summer solstice. I believe it's an eclipse somewhere. And maybe it was a solar eclipse. But there's a shit ton of planets in retrograde. Now, to my understanding, when planets are in retrograde, it appears that they're spinning backward. So symbolically, metaphysically, spiritually, it's going to reflect upon people because it's going to be a time of looking back and evaluating. And many times it's like during a retrograde of Mercury, for example, people are always saying, like, don't sign contracts, like, don't move forward quickly, with anything big that you're going to be locked into because it's going to be volatile, perhaps, or, maybe not in your best interest. But with all these planets being in retrograde, it's like forced self-examination, even more like the same trip we've been on. So I've got a lot of fans on. I'll try to speak up. My phone's a little further away. I'm trying to capture, and I turned the flash on because I think my last video was a little blurry, so sorry. But working off of that last video, I've cleared the space here today. I've been doing a lot of work in 3D to shift my focus and perception forcibly because I'm like not able to really do it easily without prodding. So I've been doing some work on myself. So if I seem a little bit sketchy, these last few days, it's like I just feel my otherworldliness is like peaked. I've cleared the space today with a little bit of sage that's still burning. I'm trying to conserve my sage, honestly, with all the rhetoric you see about appropriation of cultures and everything. I want to be respectful and mindful of what I'm doing and where I come from. Unfortunately for me, in my race and culture, like, I don't get a lot of spiritual vibing with anything that like my ancestors that I know of have done. So I do reach into other cultures, that I gel with, and other themes that do come naturally to me. Like, I've always collected feathers. I believe it's a turkey feather here, and the shell that I collected myself from the beach. But these things have kind of come naturally to me. Many of them that I do, I don't, subscribe to any particular faith or sect. My sage was gifted to me on one bundle that I'm using right now, which is a thing, so you should be mindful of the practices that you're doing. And I think it's safe to say that pretty much everything, all of our practices anymore are like timed out, like many of the old ways, that we've been harvesting and collecting just overall are like, we're outgrowing them. So we all need to, no matter where we're coming from, like, keep reevaluating ourselves. So I use actually frankincense and dragon's blood today also for protection, clearing, and to amplify my intention. I still have the cauldron out for the womb of chaos of the divine feminine that we're invoking here and into our space and into our realm, into ourselves and our environment around us. We've got the focus shard out from the last reading because we are trying to hone in on what is going to be for our best interests and our highest good, and project that outward and let other low vibing energies that don't belong to us or belong in our sphere fall away. The Moonology cards I'm actually leaving out from the last reading are the end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn, and that your dreams need a practical plan, full moon in Taurus. So these are both very earthy signs, and Capricorn being ruled by Saturn, you know, it's like we have to still put in the work. Now is the time to actually put in the 3D work to integrate what we want our world to be like and make it real. And you know, your dreams need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus, it's like sometimes you have to dial it in and ground yourself, and then, you know, let some of the otherworldly feelings, emotions, and things that are not serving you fall away as well, even if it's, you know, hard, because it's like, for me, it's hard to stay grounded. So the cards on the bottom and the top of the deck last time, we got the Four of Wands and the Ace of Wands. So a new beginning. This is also amazing and beautiful, and it's like a birth. It could be a literal pregnancy or a baby being born. There's lots of babies being born I've seen in my news feed. I just got a new puppy, so it's like cosmic that I got this puppy also, and kind of end of a cycle almost for what I've been going through. It's like I have to end a cycle and get into a new cycle. And this is just saying how amazing it's going to be, and how beautiful it is, and how divinely guided it is that I'm in the spot that I'm in now. And, you know, I have to believe that and move forward with inspiration and enthusiasm. So amen to that. Blessed be 3 times 3. You know, this is a reading for myself and for my collective. You know, anyone who vibes with this and is hip to the messages that I've been laying down, this is for you too. If it's not gelling with you, then just move on. You know, there's plenty of other readers out there. There's plenty of other things to do if you don't like what I'm saying. If you have constructive criticisms or things to say, you know, and you feel like you should, then I guess go for it. But at any rate, you know, if you don't have anything nice to say, maybe just, you know, go jump in a lake. I'm going to just do a quick clarity reading for the solstice today, the new moon, all these planets in conjunctions and retrogrades, and, you know, I'm not super specific on my astrology knowledge, but there's a lot going on. And I know, you know, I got this puppy on Wednesday, and I know I was spun out because I took a long drive. I didn't get a lot of sleep, but I have just felt out of my head, you know, like, but I just feel like I'm processing a lot of emotions and things about it, and about the whole experience that just tie into a lot of these themes that we've been dealing with collectively and personally. And I'm really just seeing how it really is like a micro of the macro whenever you look at these interpersonal dramas that we have within our families. With, you know, I was looking at the block that we live on, and all the different people and families, and how everyone is processing even like the quarantine and different things so differently, and just how every house takes care of their lawn is different, and that's okay for them. Like, that's their standard of living, and some people are gonna, you know, so it's just it's a micro of the macro, man. As above, so below. So just wild. And I'm gonna just draw from the Wild Unknown a clarity spread for today. Got you. In the Wild Unknown, I've flipped the cards, you know, for the shuffling, but it actually just doesn't do reversals. The Hanged Man came out in reverse, but I just usually flip them over because the book is like specifically states that the images are so strong that they don't need reverse meanings. But if you get something intuitive off of it being reversed, then I will, you know, absolutely bring that through. The Hanged Man and the Bat, hello, that's what we started with. What was it? What is it now? 2-3 months ago? Hanged Man, Death card, change, you know, time of contemplation, hanging out, observing, biding our time, gathering our forces. So that's definitely where we have been and where we are coming from. Temperance card also came out in reverse, but I'm going to flip it over. We've been working on the Temperance card too. It's a theme that's been coming up with the crane or the heron. And that is about mastering the elements around you, being adaptable and able to use what's coming at you to your advantage. And then we get the World. Amazing. Also in reverse. The eye of fate is upon you. And I mean, there's really not much else to say about it. I mean, everything that's happening now is destined or linked to your destiny. We're in a portal right now where you can really bring through whatever you want and make it reality. And there's abundance behind us. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Your dreams need a practical plan. So with these three being in reverse, the only thing that I will say is, and this is like for myself as much as anyone else who gels with these vibes that's listening, don't cop out. Don't bullshit yourself. You're your own hero. Nobody's coming to save you. If you don't like how your life is, fix it. Quit whining about it. Quit crying about it, you know. Quit looking for things that aren't there and you know they're not there, and go look for them somewhere else. So just don't cop out. Don't fail yourself right now. Be there for yourself. Show up for yourself right now. Every day. On the bottom of the deck, I have the Four of Swords. This pretty little lamb reminds me of my puppy. Waiting, crowned by the sun under these four swords. Unafraid. Like they could drop on her at any second, but look at her face. She's super zen, man. Like she has no cares. She's crowned by the sun. These four swords above her don't faze her in the least. And on the top of the deck, we get the Hierophant, who's shown up for us as well. And I've been looking for my crow friend all my life. So I love this deck. It's a card representing Taurus, so that earth energy, your dreams need a practical plan. We need to embrace the laws of Saturn, as foreign as they may be to some of our more Neptunian aspects, or, you know, just, it's like math, and I don't dig math. I don't organize things with my right brain. So Saturn's a tough one for me. Capricorn's a tough one. The Hierophant is a teacher, and it's that life experience that's going to be our best teacher. So we have to cultivate our own life experience. Again, if you don't like how it's going, you have to change it, switch it up. I've seen some of my friends out there doing some amazing, inspiring things that are just like, wow, what the heck? I can't wait to see what I'm going to do. And that's where I'm at right now. And I think the crow here is like cawing at me. Hey, don't cop out on yourself. I'm going to see what the book says about the Four of Wands. Or Swords, I mean. We started out with the Four of Wands, with our abundance and new beginnings, birth, new cycle. The Four Swords talks about stillness and mental power. Though threatening swords loom above, the lamb sits in stillness without fear. The Four of Swords says it's time to look inward and find the mental power to cope with the pressures. It's important to rest, seek meditation, or find literature that focuses on ways to quiet the mind. Take this time to recuperate and move inward before these swords strike. So it does tell of impending danger, potentially. I mean, there's always going to be obstacles out there, and we should be prepared for. We can't just, I guess this like really illustrates something I'm dealing with today. Like, we can't just hide away forever and keep unfollowing people on Facebook. Like, at some point, you're going to have to deal with like the reality that's out there in your own way. Like, it doesn't have to be the same way that you dealt with it before, but it's going to have to be dealt with. So just make sure you're in your strongest form and on your game so that you know where you're coming from. Clearly define what it is that you want and what you want your world to be like. It's a time to really embrace yourself, your true calling, your true desires and passions, and stop denying them if you've been, so that you can invoke the essence of your true self, so that you can be prepared as possible to deflect and combat any enemy. I'm going to pull us a Moonology card. For the summer solstice 2020, June 20. What's our Moonology deck have to say? Meditate, contemplate. It is time for great healing to occur. With all these planets in retrograde again, it's like spinning backwards, looking back, reframing stories even about yourself that you tell yourself, about experiences that have happened to you or whatever. It's a time to meditate on that and reframe it, retell it to yourself so that you can move on in a new light. And then we got the full moon in Cancer card. And we are in that birthday season now, officially. A personal issue reaches resolution. And this is, again, with Cancer being very emotional. It's a emotional time, but our other cards here have pointed to getting your emotions under control. If it's something that rules you, we're supposed to be looking towards Saturn and mathing, you know, like, and for me, in my like house of Saturn is ruled by Cancer. So for me, this makes perfect sense because it's like I have a goddess of intuition and feeling ruling my sector of logic and planning, you know, and she doesn't believe in maps. She doesn't look at numbers or remember names or, you know, so it's confusing to navigate sometimes. And perhaps it's a time to embrace a different perspective, or just even like entertain some type of structure, you know? Self and anyone else who needs that message. So this emotional issue, this emotional feeling is, you know, it's the divine feminine force, but also, you know, needing to be harnessed, needing to be focused. A challenge is now coming to an end. It's a season of completion of a cycle. answer to your question lies in being a kind leader. Set an example. Set the example for the universe on a cellular vibration that you want to see happening around you. Hold yourself to a higher standard. It's time for you to step up and agree to overcome your insecurities. It's like there's a job, there's like a destiny waiting for you. Yeah? And it's time to just like accept it. Step up. You have to take the oath. It says here, it may be best to move toward what you want in a sideways manner. And this is a strategy that I've been trying to develop here, and it's been coming across in the cards too, like not meeting your enemy head on. So heard, meditate, don't be clingy, and that's like don't be clingy to these emotions, to these past paradigms, to the structures that you've set up. You know, even though like I'm supposedly like I was saying, operating on this like completely, you know, intuitive goddess level, right? But it's like don't be too clingy to that, because that is what's holding you back sometimes, right? For sure. So stop sulking and get more family time. And I'm about to get my ass to a barbecue too. So there. The heightened emotions of the moon and Cancer combination can't be ignored. However, the moon loves to be in this sign, and she rules Cancer. All is as it should be. Don't worry, all will soon be well. So, it's not saying that your emotions are wrong, but something to be focused. Not left to just go all crazy. I think that's fair. I'm going to draw one Kuan Yin card and draw in her divine grace and compassion. Speaking of divine grace, my new puppy, who's just teeny tiny and very little and just about 8 weeks old, has been sitting and being perfectly good throughout this whole time. So I'm super blessed. Her name is Nisha. And so, Kuan Yin, tell us. Thank you. She gave us the sacred river, Yangtze. I'm probably saying that wrong. I love this deck. Just as the sacred river flows and changes course, you too are evolving in your divine path. Changes in the flow of energy within you and in the momentum of your unfolding life path are imminent. This is exciting. You're growing and changing, and soon your life circumstances will reflect your inner evolution. Hooray! On the bottom of the Kuan Yin deck, we have the turquoise lotus mother. An old pattern is finally ending. You are to be lifted from your struggle, freed from a weight of the past. You have learned all that you needed to learn, and now it is time for relief, release, divine protection, and the happiness of a healed heart and peaceful soul. I accept. I release, I release, I release in order to receive the divine blessings meant for me. And so it is. Weave the future golden. Weave the future golden. Heard? Weave the future golden. Divine Mother. Thank you, Kuan Yin. That was beautiful. I don't think anything else really needs to be said, but I want to pull another shard because it's magical. Amen to that. We got the star. A star is what you are. It was in a book I used to read to my daughter when she was little. Number 18. Look up spirit number 18. Star, way shower. The way to show others is through your own example. What did this say about being a strong leader? Rather than through telling, let your own inner light shine through to illuminate the lives of others. You have within you the knowledge of the universe, the talent of the shaman, and the inner wisdom of your own life purpose. Let the star that you are shine forth freely to give light to others. This is a time of coming to terms with your spiritual destiny, embracing your personal power within the context of your life purpose. The star is a wonderful omen about where you are right now. However, do not be so enthralled by your own radiance that you can't see the light of others. Stars exist in constellations, and these in turn revolve around something much larger than themselves. Micro with a macro, baby. Feel the harmony of it all and keep glowing. Your light is a gift to others as well as yourself. Embrace the light and see your own inner beauty. And with that, I'm going to close it out. And keep working with intention on clearing the negativity that's preventing you from embracing your true destiny. Take care. I hope to see y'all soon in the woods.